Welcome back. Episode 4 from the Fringe Podcast. Hope everyone had a great week. Hope y'all got to play some golf, watch some golf. But we're here to talk about golf and the golf related, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's get into this. We just completed the Travelers Championship this weekend, and Keegan Bradley was our winner. Keegan set a tournament scoring record at 23 under par, a record that was previously held by Kenny Perry and it was set back in 2009 at 22 under par. The Travelers was a high-scoring event this past weekend. The course was set up for some prime scoring opportunities. The cut line was 4 under par, and TPC River Highlands gave up 8 rounds of 62 or better. 8. Our boy Rickie Fowler had a third round 60, which ended up being his personal best in a professional round. Speaking of Rickie Fowler, I think I want to start doing a Rickie Watch week to week. This guy is just a lovable guy on tour. Not many people have anything negative to say about him, if any at all. And you just feel that this past season, after getting back together with Butch Harmon, that his game is right there on the cusp of some great things. Like those floodgates are going to open up the moment he gets that win and gets that monkey off his back. So I think we're going to start a Rickie Watch just to let everybody know how our boy Rickie Fowler's doing week to week. I don't want to do this, but Rory couldn't keep his mouth shut again this week. He was quoted bagging on the course this week saying, "I don't particularly like when a tournament is like this. Unfortunately, technology has passed this course by, right? It sort of made it obsolete, especially as soft as it has been with a little bit of rain that we had." Rory, I don't want to hear you talking about a course being obsolete when you finished 5 shots off the lead and you lost. Can't be that obsolete if it was kicking your behind. So why don't you just take the high road, say, hey, it was a good week, we fought hard, we'll get him next time, and move on. Somebody in this man's PR camp needs to coach this guy, because week in and week out, this dude just keeps putting his foot in his mouth. At least to me, he does. Just put the head down, grind, and play some golf. Speaking of golf, the women, the LPGA players, had the KPMG Women's PGA Championship this week. It was the second major of their season. And Ronnie Wynn took the win in this tournament. She turned professional back in 2020, and this was her first major win. So congratulations to her. Coming down the stretch of this tournament, she ended up hitting her last 37 greens in regulation. Now, as you guys know, that is a tough feat. To do that coming down the stretch and to win the tournament is pretty darn awesome. And afterwards, she was quoted as saying, "I think there's more to come." And quite frankly, she said it with a little bit of a chuckle. I like the confidence. I hope so. I hope we get to see more of this young lady. A little fun note about her is that she beat out her mentor and landlord, ZU Lin, who ended up in third place. So we got a really good interview for you guys. I don't want to keep y'all waiting. Let's get right into it.
Oh yeah. Stay up. Stay there.
Hey guys, we're coming to you from Starfire Golf Club here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm with Josh Bribiescas. He's the assistant golf pro here. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you coming out here.
Dude, this is a joy for me. You know, this is my home course, and I really take pride in this place and really like being out here. So having someone from here is a big deal for me. So let everyone know a little bit about your professional resume.
Yeah, I've been teaching out here in Scottsdale for about 5-6 years now. Been a professional golfer for at least 7 to 8 years now. In the beginning it was just kind of the grind, chasing it, playing mini tours and trying to make a name for myself and make a little money on the side. But also being an instructor has been one of the best things I could have ever stepped into, because seeing the game grow as it does is just, it's amazing to see. And the fact that I'm a part of that, I can't believe it. And I'm blessed every day to be a part of this and be a part of what golf has become now.
Doing something that you love, like you truly love every single day, it never seems like work. Because I like what I do, but even getting out here, just seeing you interact with the people every day and everyone else around here, you can tell people really do love what they do at this golf club and love being here and around the people. Totally.
Yeah. I mean, everyone, we all work as a team here to, give the best experience we can when you do come out and play at Starfire. And, that's the goal at the end of the day, because it is about golf, but the experience is also what we're looking for. And, if you can leave with a great experience, we've done our job.
So how did you originally get into golf?
It's kind of funny. I picked up golf really a little late in life. I was, maybe more along the lines of 13, 14. I guess not really late.
It's
but
kind of when I picked it up too. My grandfather was...
Right. I came from a very basketball-oriented family. So everybody, in my family played, basketball competitively at a high level. And I did want to do that, but I felt like that wasn't my calling, my niche. And my father took me out to the range one day just because he wanted to go, because he was getting ready for some little scramble I think he was going to play in, and he brought me out there, and I loved it. And
that was it.
And that was it. I got hooked, and I was there. My home course I grew up playing at is Dobson Ranch, and I used to be there from 6 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night when they closed. And I would just play golf all day. And
just a range rat.
Oh man, yep. And I would scrounge up my quarters to pay for my buckets, and eventually, the guys got to know me well enough, and they knew what I was trying to accomplish. And I thank those guys as well. I shout them out because they helped me step into this game, comfortably.
That's awesome. For me, it was my grandfather. He always grew up playing it. I remember him going out playing, a couple times a week when he retired, and he always said, "You need to get out there," and he would just, nudge me. And it probably wasn't till about, 13, 14 that I got out there. And when I did, it was kind of like, why wasn't I doing this all along?
Right. And I also give a shout out to my uncle, my dad's brother. He actually was really the first one that believed in me to even take this path, because it really wasn't a most positive decision of with the family and all that,
being basketball oriented.
Right. But I think eventually they caught on, and now they support me 100%. And
it's awesome.
It's I'm blessed to have them.
So we're here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Some people, and I've said this on the pod before, would say like this is the Mecca of golf. Now, I've heard people talk about Myrtle Beach and Jupiter, but dude, it's Scottsdale. Let's be real.
I mean, yeah, those two places, they do have, they have their amount of golf courses, but Scottsdale is just...
Like, isn't it something like 230 something in the whole valley?
Yeah, it's
combined.
It's every corner you turn, there's a golf course.
They're like Starbucks. They're like Starbucks out here.
Pretty much. And the way that it's amazing. It's amazing seeing, you can go anywhere in golf. That's why when you live here, and like me, I've lived here my whole life, it's just wild to hear that there's seasons in golf, and
right.
and you can only go during this amount of time, and now it's... But here, it's like I can golf 24/7.
So, I kind of playing off the seasons, like I'm getting back in the gym and doing stuff. So I'm looking at like golf, central workouts, and they talk about like what to work on in the off season. And I'm like, what off season, But it's also cool out here is where like you got the True Norths and the Silver Leafs, but then you'll get on Instagram, and if you're like me, you follow all the courses in the valley, and you'll see Orange Tree, which is right down the road, and Alice Cooper's playing there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just think because Scottsdale is that prime location.
Or how Bubba came out and played here.
Right. But Bubba came out and played here. It's great to see that celebrities or pro golfers, they're given those municipal courses that love, that they need, because they're just like everyone else. They're trying to stay afloat. They're trying to keep, their business rolling as well. And
we don't all have access to the private clubs.
Exactly.
So when they give us a little love,
it goes a really long way.
So speaking of Scottsdale, how do you feel about the state of local golf right now? Like, what have you seen in the since 2020 about the game and how it's going on a local level?
On a local level, I will say it has grown. It has evolved so much, I would say, since 2020 with, the pandemic hitting and that kind of being the only thing to do for a while. And, I would say it's definitely brought a lot more people to the game. But, there's pros and cons with that sometimes.
Please share.
You do get the, because it's evolved so much, we get a lot of, golfers and it's not to knock any of the other businesses that are out there, like the Top Golfs of the world and all that. It's just, they've set there's a standard kind of set of wanting to be, I don't want to say restaurant type vibe, but more of the entertainment. Yeah. Right. More of the entertainment, and, golf is entertainment. There's also etiquette that comes with that. And
right.
I think
we talked about that last week on the pod.
Yeah, I think etiquette, I don't think there's a lot really necessarily new things that need to be talked about. I would say it's more of just the basics being reiterated.
Just a refresher course.
Right. And just learn, just the simple things like not walking in people's lines, staying on the cart paths when you're asked to, pace of play.
One that I said was not being able to hear your Barbra Streisand from like 3 holes over,
Right. But I think it's going to have its ups and downs, and I think it's had a lot of ups, with this game, the way it's grown, and if more people have been coming out more, that's it's the thing to do now.
But it's also, and I didn't really address this last week, but I have to concede that on y'all's level of actually working at a course when it is high season, and if you don't know, high season in Scottsdale is wild. Like, these courses will be packed, or first tee time to last tee time, and you're trying to give everyone experience. You want people to come back, but it's tough to monitor all that at the same time when it's so busy.
Right. And that's where, sometimes golf courses themselves have to take a step back and see, they got to kind of readjust with how much this game has grown, how much, how many people are getting out here. And I think when we get the right amount of golfers that, some that know the etiquette, some that don't know the etiquette, it can kind of put stress on a day,
Yeah, I don't think anyone really was ready to see how much golf was going to grow since the pandemic.
I agree. I think it really, just like with, I think anything else that happened in the world during that time, it kind of caught everyone on there, and, blindsided.
As a player and as a patron of a course, it took me by surprise, because I remember 2020 playing. You'd come out here and play, and we were in a drought. It was a pretty hot summer that summer, but the courses were virtually empty, and it was probably we're in 2023 now, so it was, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but it was maybe last season when travel fully opened up. Like 2021, we started to see it again, but
totally.
Last year, like the 2022 season, it got crazy, because then you saw everyone that took the game up from around the country, who started taking those bachelor trips, or those girls or guy trips.
Right. And then you got to even add more to that, you got the Super Bowl here. And then you got, and then you got the Waste Management here, and that is, that's growing in its own way now.
Right.
I just can't believe it.
Like, that's a busy weekend or a busy week just on its own right.
Right.
You throw the Super Bowl on top of it, and that was a wild week.
Right. And, it's going to be a little wild again this year. You got the Final Four coming here for the men's, and for the men's basketball. So it's like, it kind of seems like out of nowhere, Scottsdale, or whether it's just the state of Arizona, has just kind of been the hot spot. Everyone has been wanting to come visit here, and everyone's been wanting to, be down here for a couple days, because why not? The weather's beautiful. There's golf everywhere you go.
I think I saw like a little travel and leisure little tip or little fact online that the Phoenix Metro Valley area is becoming one of the hottest places to visit.
Yeah.
And like you said, why not? We got, spring training baseball, we got golf, we got Waste Management, Barrett Jackson.
There's action here all year.
Yeah.
There's action here all year, and
then you get to the summertime and all the resorts and stuff around here, they start doing summer rates, so people come in for that as well. I mean, it's definitely a booming economy down here.
Totally, and you've really seen it grow, like you've been saying, since really the last year, it's just really just completely shot up.
So now that we talked about a local level, and with your ends to the golf world and the other pros and being on the mini tours, how do you feel about the current state of the professional scene, whether it's the men's or the women's side?
I think I don't think that love will ever get lost in that from the professional scene, just because there's so many hungry young golfers out there trying to make it. They're trying to make it, and I think that hunger, that want will always be there, and that's in that realm. So that's why a PGA Tour event is awesome to go see, but go see a mini tour event. Go see some local
Champions Tour, even
right.
the PGA Tour that comes
right, and even something even more local than that.
Cactus Tour.
Yeah, see, exactly. Just they are good golfers out there. It's the guys on the PGA and the women on the LPGA. It's a whole nother level. But it's like there's only so many people that can be on that tour that can, there's only so many spots kind of in a way.
So, so on that note, when a live decided to pop up, outside of what Jay Monahan was trying to push on that agenda, do you think there is room for growth with other tours and supplemental tours that are outside of the PGA?
Yes, it has to. I don't want to say it has to, but just the rate that golf has grown, it's why not? For example, the NBA, they are global now.
Right.
Everyone plays basketball out there now. The last 5 MVPs in the NBA have been from Europe. Or
right.
Not from this country. You can make it work. I just think,
like even the G League,
right?
The NBA has grown to its own little thing,
right? And the leagues out in Europe, they are
over in Asia,
right?
Yeah.
They're getting, they're evolving just like this game is itself with people wanting to play and all that. So I think it's
I said it. One of the things I really respect about the LPGA is when the leaderboard comes up, if you really want to see how international this game is, look at a leaderboard on an LPGA event.
Right.
They're from Asia, South America, Europe, Africa. They come from everywhere.
And they seem to make it work.
They do.
So it's kind of, why not? Why can't it work with, these big, the PGA Tour and LIV? And I think it's great that they merged because, it is great for the game of golf.
I think the bickering was it was the dramatics of it all was just, it was too much and something had to give.
Right. I totally agree. I think something did have to give, and
I'm interested to see how that goes. Does LIV continue in its format, and now maybe we get a rotating team with PGA players every single event? Could you imagine Rory coming out there with a team of 3 other of his choosing, or a Jordan Spieth or a Tony Finau?
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
You have and that's the beauty of this is you can kind of toy with it. You can kind of feel it out and feel the niche, feel what gets, what keeps the viewers watching and what keeps, and sometimes change is needed. It's great that we've had this, the PGA has been what it's been, and it's been such a high standard for so long. But
and they're always going to be that.
They
high
always
standard.
will
no,
be.
No matter what happens.
Right.
Let's be honest.
They always will be.
They're going to be that bar that everyone, aspires to.
Right. They always will be. But sometimes you can't let that all go to your head, and you got to be willing to see the other side of the coin. And do be okay with the change if there is some.
When you're the only dog on the block, you tend to believe like you're the only dog,
Right.
like in the neighborhood.
Right.
So when someone else comes around, when another dog comes around the block,
a little territorial,
it gets
right?
a little territorial. But
Right.
I think, like you, I think it's going to be, I think the opportunity to have something global,
right,
and mixing both tours and having these guys back in the PGA and creating teams with the guys that weren't originally on Live, it's going to be awesome. And I love the places that they go, like going to Australia and Mexico, going over into I think they had one in Japan.
Right. Yeah.
Now Spain, I think, is the next one coming up.
And just to take the European tour, people forget about that. Like that tour it's not necessarily like Live, but it's just in the sense of you go from country to country to country to country to country, and you see the best players from those countries representing their country in these European events. And yeah, I think it's and I think now that the PGA and Live, they've taken a page from their book to do that.
So I talked about it on the pod maybe an episode or two ago, but I think another untapped source, people that the PGA hasn't really found yet, is the mixed event. A couple weeks ago, they had the Volvo Car Scandinavian Mixed, which was a mixed head-to-head event between the DP World Tour and the Ladies European. It wasn't teams, it was head-to-head, men and women in the same field. Wow. And I think it was Len Gant won the event last year outright. And I know this year, later on, I think it's December, they're coming up with the Grant Thornton, and it's going to be a mixed event teams. But could you imagine here in the United States under the PGA, LPGA moniker, a mixed event like Nelly Korda going head to head with the John Rahms and the Rorys and stuff like that?
I would love to see it.
Because the way I look at it, and I put this out on Twitter, for the average weekend golfer like me, whether or not you realize it, you play like a girl, and that's being nice. Right. Because these girls, they're bombing it, 230, 250, kind of like what I would do. So they're having to play their entire bag. You want to see the best representation of how, as a weekend golfer, you should play? In my opinion, watch the LPGA.
I agree. Just the way they carry themselves, the way you're right, the way that their strategy's got to be a little different. Right. Because they can't overpower.
They're not bombing it 384.
Right. They can't overpower a golf course, but that's not to say you can't be so accurate with your whole bag, right. And they have made that look, honestly, so easy, so effortless.
I know.
They're picking spots with fairway woods and hybrids on the green. And it's to the average golfer, they're looking to get anywhere near the green. I feel like their numbers are a little more, because their grind's a little different. They gotta be solid with their whole bag. I think they're more dialed in a lot of I think it's a better from a further yardage. They're more dialed in and more accurate, and that's why they got winners like every weekend. It's
a better representation of a complete game.
Right. They show you, they play all the shots, because on the tour events you see the guys that overpower the golf course, and they can, they make it, it's
you
obvious.
Bomb at 384, and then you got a little wedge shot 150 in, and now you're putting for eagle. You know what I mean?
Right, and and I think that'll eventually change too. I think courses are going to get longer, because I think more athletes are playing this game.
Right.
I think there's just more, on the professional level especially, there's just way more athletes. These guys are hitting the gym. These guys and girls are hitting the gym every day.
Well, you've seen the meme that goes, it shows Jack and Arnold sitting there smoking a cigarette with a picture of like Tiger and Rory next to each other eating granola bars and stuff. It's changed. It's evolved.
It's totally evolved, and I'm very excited for what's to come with this. Just with the amount of
that's awesome.
Yeah, professionally and local. I think it's all going to be. It's in our hands now. What can we do to make it better?
Exactly. Well, Josh, I want to thank you for joining us today. It really has been a big treat. let everyone know that where they can find you on social media, or how they can get in touch with you if they need a tune-up while they're here in Scottsdale.
Yeah, totally. Yep. I'm here at Starfire Golf Club. Just ask for Josh Bribiescas, and then I also have Josh Brib 44 is my Instagram. If you ever want to get a tune up, you can always come and see me, and we'll get you dialed in and get you back out there and get this game rolling for you.
All right, guys. Well, you heard the man. Let's move on. I am proud to announce that the From the Fringe podcast is brought to you by Shank It Golf. That's right. We've got the Shanks. At Shank It Golf, you can find golf polos, bags, and accessories, and let me tell you, they are some of the hottest ones on the market. So visit shankitgolf.com, use the promo code FRINGE15 for 15% off your order. Or better yet, you can jump over to the Instagram page, give us a follow, and click the link and do your shopping from there. That is shankitgolf.com. Yes, we at From the Fringe have the Shanks, and we want you to have them too.
Oh yeah. Stay up. Stay there.
Okay, before we wrap it up for this week's episode, let's talk about the weekend, and what a weekend it is shaping up to be. Not only is it a holiday weekend here in the United States with the 4th of July, but we have golf. Yes, golf, and we love golf. Let's start with the men. The men will be in Detroit, Michigan at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Defending champion Tony Finau will be looking to repeat, and we will also be on the Rickie Watch. Yes, we are excited here at From the Fringe to see how Rickie Fowler is going to do this week, and we will let you know and keep you updated on the Instagram page. Also, this will be kind of an interesting tournament because some serious weather went through the Michigan area earlier this week and did quite the number on the course. So I am excited to see how they have the course cleaned up and ready for a tournament. Now on to the ladies. The ladies have their second major in as many weeks, lucky for us, and it's the third major of the season. It's the Women's U.S. Open, and they will be playing at Pebble Beach. Yes, you heard me, Pebble Beach. The defending champion is Minjee Lee, and we also know she will be looking to repeat. Now, here's a fun fact. This is the first time the women will be competing on a professional level at Pebble Beach. The course has hosted 2 U.S. women's amateurs, but that was back in the 40s. So the U.S. Women's Open is also the oldest of the 5 women's major. Yet this is the first time that Pebble Beach will be hosting them. However, they have hosted 7 men's tournaments, 6 U.S. Opens, and 1 PGA Championship. So I, for one, as y'all can tell by now, I do like the LPGA. I do like their style of golf. I am excited that their game as a whole is getting some recognition by Pebble Beach, and that these ladies will be able to compete there. I think it's going to make for an exciting weekend and some really good golf. So that's it for us this week. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at from_the_fringe, or on Twitter at FRMTHEFRINGE From the Fringe. Check us out on both of those platforms. Give us a follow. Drop some DMs with some feedback. However you'd like to do it. Don't forget about that Shank It Golf promo. That's Fringe15 for 15% off your order. Or while you're on the Instagram page, click the link in my bio. It will take you to the page and you can go from there. I want everyone to have a great week, a happy 4th of July. Be good, stay safe, and hit 'em straight.